This year I have 127 students. 3 are cool. You have Aiden, girl Aiden, and a third one whose name I haven't quite figured out how to pronounce, and it's starting to feel too late to ask. Like it's getting weird. You know? Yeah. So as we all know, in the last year, laptops became super important, right? And I don't know how you guys feel about how laptops are used in the classroom, but for me during the pandemic, it was like it made sense. It wasn't super hard to manage, but in the classroom, it's almost impossible to manage what they're doing on the Chromebooks, in my experience, or maybe you're better teachers than me. I don't know. It's either way. But like one day I was walking around and I gave my students independent work so that I didn't have to talk to them. You get it. So I was just walking around and I started walking and this one kid looks up at me, eyes go wide, he clicks really fast, slams shut his Chromebook. It's like nothing good is happening over there. It's not good. So I go up to him and like, what are you doing there, Aiden? Separate Aiden. They're all named Aiden, we know this. He, she, them, they, doesn't matter. I'm like, what are you doing there, Aiden? He's like, oh, I finished my work. I was like, you did not. The look in your face was not an I finished my work kind of a look. It was an I've done something terrible and I fear consequences are coming kind of a look. So I was like, why don't you go ahead and flip open your Chromebook there. He didn't do anything. He was just frozen, just stared. So I went ahead and did it for him. And it was just the Google screen, that's all that was there. I was like, all right, Aiden, I'm going to show you a magic trick. A few of you might know what's about it. He looked up at me and was like, a magic trick? Like, that sounds weird, Mr. Williams. And I was like, shut up. And he's like, I don't think you can say that to me. And I was like, no one will believe you. So I proceeded to do this magic trick, and it has a name. It's called Control-Shift-T. We know Control-Shift-T. Oh wow, applause for Control. Okay. That's never happened before, but I'll take it. I don't know if I earned it so much as Control-Shift-T did, but that's fine. No, so I did, for those of you not familiar, Control-Shift-T opens your most recent tab in the browser window. Did this a couple times. Found some interesting stuff. The first thing, there were a couple things that stood out. First thing Aiden had Googled was boobs. And gonna tell you one thing, the safe search filter at my school, not effective. This search was successful. Tits for days. And like obviously like you can't do that, right? Like you can't be looking up boobs at school. But I get it. He's in 7th grade, you know? That's what you're looking for. Like I scrolled through a little bit. It was already on the screen. He's like, what are you doing, Mr. Williams? I was like, I'm gathering evidence, motherfucker. Aiden. To know. So that was the first. I'm getting tangled up here. That was the first thing that stood out that he had Googled. The second thing Aiden had Googled, a little more confusing. He Googled Viagra. Now I don't know if you guys remember being in 7th grade or not. If I remember correctly, not a big problem for me then. If anything, I could have used like 200 milligrams of, oh God, please no, not right now, Butrin. Helpful, that's all I'm saying. But I was very confused. Aiden's clearly going through some stuff, so I just taught him how to clear his browser history and walked away. supposed to teach them life skills. It's part of functioning in society, clearing your browser history. But I thought about it and I came up with 2 theories as to why Aiden had Googled Viagra. First theory had to do with something he had said the last time we did independent work that I realized I may have misinterpreted. The last time we had done it, he looked up from his screen at one point, looked around the room and said, "This isn't hard." Now I assumed he was talking about the schoolwork at the time. May have been a cry for help. That's finding out you're gay in the middle of class like that, like it's not ideal. Fell on deaf ears. Poor guy. Poor guy. So that's my first theory. The second theory, though, I think is more likely. Like, I've graded this kid's tests, I've read his writing. He might just think that that's how you spell vagina. They look the same, The words, not the things. To be clear. Another day we were down on the baseball field for recess. Healthy living, we call it. And we got down there, kids are running around doing what they're doing. I noticed in my peripheral vision, there are 5 girls from my homeroom. They're all laughing, normal. But I realized they're all looking in the same direction. So I traced the path of their gaze to the infield, where, chiseled into the dirt, is the most beautiful picture of a penis I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was good. They did a good job. Had like a slight lilt that felt realistic, There were hairs in places that felt right in my heart. And I'll tell you what, I did not know how much I cared about a vein looking right on a picture of a dick. I can't go back. If I ever see another picture of a penis, and I go to museums, I will. I'll see. If it doesn't have a good vein, that's a fucking terrible picture. That's not. Like, I don't think teamwork was involved in this thing. You understand? Like, they're better friends now, the people who did this. There's a blueprint, probably some light scaffolding. I don't know. They did a great job. You've heard enough about the dick. I get it. But what happened next is I didn't have time to admire it because I panicked. So it turns out that I feel like you know kind of the vibe of what's about to happen. You do, yeah. It turns out what I do when I panic, when confronted with a giant dick on a baseball field, a situation we all have to face at some point in life. Actually, that might be true for a lot of people in this room. If you're teachers, yeah. So anyway, it turns out what I do in that moment when I panic is I turn to a group of 5, 12, and 13-year-old girls whose safety, well-being, and education are entrusted in me. And I say, "Come help me rub it off." It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Like, they're looking at me like they're embarrassed for me, But I panicked even more. I doubled down. I was like, "No, come on, let's go. We go out there. We're just kicking at a dick, making it worse." Basically a team foot job at that point. And court is Monday. So Now, at this point in my set, some of you may be thinking like, "Okay, are you just here to talk about like your failings as a teacher for no reason?" No. I am here to talk about my failings as a teacher for a reason. And that reason is that teachers in this state and around the country don't get paid enough. And some others of you, probably people who aren't teachers, might be thinking like, oh, okay, so you're not going to do your best for the children of America, the future of this nation, just because you don't think you get paid enough? Again, not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that if teachers got paid more, I would do a better job. What I am saying is that if teachers got paid more, they would give my job to someone better. And I'm Jonathan Williams. Thank you guys so much.